Welcome to the next video on the conversion for the electric Sentra, the Nissan Sentra 2004 to electric. And I just want to show the progress of what I'm working these days. The first thing I'm working on is to replace the current power steering system that the car has, which is an electric hydraulic, with this, which is pure electric power steering assisted system. This came from a Saturn View, and then there's a company called powersteering.com that sells this little module which connects to these electric motors. And what they do is that they let you use this off the market, and this has a potentiometer that is used to calibrate how much assistance you need, more or less. This is a much better system, and I showed how it works in a previous video. This is a much better system what I have now, because even though it works okay, an electric hydraulic system is noisy.
Esto me ha dado.
And it bothers me because these electric cars are very quiet, and then there's the noise of a power steering. So this is going to make a much better system. I'm in the process of implementing this in the car. So I'm replacing the hydraulic power steering pump from a Toyota MR2 with the electric power steering that attaches at the steering wheel at the counter. And this is from a Saturn View 2006. And basically the way to do this is you have to get one of these either in eBay or the junkyard, and then get one of these controllers that you can buy on epowersteering.com, and you can either buy the motor there or a few other components to attach this, or you just buy the controller. In my case, it's much cheaper to buy just the controller and then install it. It has instructions, by the way. It comes with some nice instructions on how to wear this, and it's compatible with several models of electric power steering from several cars. One is the Pontiac Torrent, another is the Chevrolet Equinox. This is Saturn Views, just from a few years. The list is in the website, or they can help you to determine what power steering electric motors can fit or match with the controllers. There's another Saturn Ion, a few models of Saturn Ion at work as well. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm testing the power steering motor and the controller together, just to make sure that they work. Because I don't want to cut my shaft in my car and then find out that this doesn't work when I already cut my car. So what I did is, this is really simple. This control unit just has 6 cables. 2 are connected to a potentiometer, which is used to change the level of assistance that you get. All the way to the left is no assistance, all the way to the right is maximum assistance, and you have a lot of settings in between. 2 of the other cables are need to be linked to the 2 cables coming to the controller box, which is this, and then the 2 final are just connected to battery power. This usually goes to ignition. I just connected it to positive constant for testing purposes. It's supposed to go to ignition. And then I have a couple of tools here just to determine when I am getting assistance or not. So we're going to do this when the pump or the motor is working. Since I just doing a quick test, I just gonna install the power into my tractor here. I'm just gonna connect it into the tractor. And after you connect, you can hear a little click from one of these and this. That means it's working. And I'm just going to turn the knob to the right for maximum assistance, and you can hear a click on the controller. That means it's working. This is the side that goes to the wheel, or to the steering wheel, and this is the side that goes to the rack. And when I start testing, you can tell that this is giving me assistance. When I try to turn this gives me extra power, So that's how I can tell that it's working. So it's working conditions. So what I'm going to do now is proceed to start installing it in the car. I'll show more about that once I do that. Well, here I am working on the power steering to convert it to an electric power steering. And what I've done so far is I've removed the power steering, the current power steering system from the car. And this is where the system goes. I pretty much had to remove the wheel, which is here somewhere. I had to remove the the lights indicators, the blinkers, the wipers indicator, and I had to remove the this, which is the connection to the this is the connection to the airbag. And apparently the airbags are here, and it's very important to disconnect the battery when removing the airbags, because this can it's an explosive device. Really, there's so much pressure in here that it may be dangerous if not if I don't disconnect the battery. It's apparently recommended to put this face down. In case the airbag inflates, it just inflates like this. If you put it upside down and the airbag inflates, it's going to push this high to the roof, and it's going to make a projectile of this. So this is important. The airbag has to be stored face down. Anyway, so what I'm working on is all these cables have to be relocated to leave this space available for the new motor, and I'm trying to see if I can put the motor here. But basically, this is the power steering. I mean, this is the current shaft that is using. This goes to the direction box, and this is the pretty much the shaft. This goes into the steering wheel, and the idea is to replace this with this in between. So I have to find a way to connect this to this. Like, I need to cut this shaft here and here or somewhere, and then put this in between and be able to join this and that into this. And I need to be able to use these holes to attach this motor into this, and this support, somehow I need to find a way to attach it into here. So that's the challenge. That's what I'm going to be working on the next few days. I think it'll go okay. I just want to make sure that this fits into the space I have under the dash. Well, I'm back from the junkyard, and I found the parts that I need for the most part. I even bought a new wheel because mine was it's a little. The old one is damaged from the sun. This is it has some damage, but it's in much better shape, so I'll be able to replace my wheel. Anyway, the interesting part is that I was able to get the this is the motor that I had originally, so I was missing the front and the back to be able to install it, and I was able to find the missing parts, which is this and this, and I even was able to find another motor in a Saturn View. So I have two motors now. I got this very inexpensive, so I figure I can resell one once I don't need it anymore. Interesting enough, this is the power steering that I'm trying to use now, and this is the power steering. I mean the column shaft that I removed from the car, and they are very similar. Amazingly, they seem to have the same length. Let me show you. They are about the same length. They end up about the same place roughly, and they even have the supports more or less in the same place. This and this, they measure about the same. The holes, the distance between the holes is about the same, and then there is a support on the other one here, which also seems to be very good for attaching this part. And these things are even so cheap that I bought two, because I'm planning to install one and work on the other, and once the other is ready, then I can do the switch. But since this is going to take me a little while, I can install the original one and just use the car while I work on this. So now I have two motors, two electric motors. I have the components that I need, and I have two of the original Nissan column shafts that I can use for my project. Now this at the end of the shaft is very it gets to the same place as this. I mean the distance, the length. The problem is that this has a receiver, while this is welded. But I was thinking I could probably replace the whole thing, the next section too. And then I measured the one on the Nissan, and it turns out it's much shorter than this. So I discarded that idea originally, but then I realized that this has a nice feature. This shortens, you see, this shortens, and I see now that it has the right length, so I think I may be able to use this in this position, in the shortest position. This is interesting. I didn't realize that this was like this. So yeah, thinking that I can use it like this. So it's looking pretty good. There's a space on the car for this. I measure it, so it looks like it's going to be a good fit. Interestingly enough, even the same kind of guide seems to fit in both. I haven't tried with the wheel, but even the front nut fits on both. Yeah, what are the odds? And this seems to be quite equal. I may be able to just use this shaft without change in the wheel. Interesting. I'll work on this for a while I install the original shaft in the Nissan, so I can use it while I do this change. I'm testing the new power steering I got, and I basically just connected the cables and to a small battery here, and I can tell it's working when I move this. The wheel, the side of the wheel, it's I can see it's with very little effort I can lift the heavy arm both ways, so it seems to be working very fine. This unit is working okay. Well, I have the other wheel that I bought installed here where I work on the other one, and I have the other shaft. I finally finished setting up the cable straight, and I have space to work on. This is the only thing that I can remove when I work on the other one. Anyway, what I did is I installed this shaft, and I made a space for when I have the other one ready. So in the meantime, I'm driving the car. I didn't install the airbag for now because it's too much trouble to put it on and remove it. So that's it for now. No airbag, but I'll just remove it in 2 or 3 more days. So there's no much point of using the airbag for now. Right, but then I'm continue working on the shafts. This is the Nissan Sentra shaft. I've removed it. It turns out that the Nissan uses a bolt, a nut, to secure this to the front bearing. Well, the Saturn has just a small lock like this, which is the one keeping it fixed to the ball bearing. It turns out also that the Nissan wheel doesn't fit here. The nut fits, but the steering wheel doesn't fit here. So I'm gonna have to use this one. I cannot really use this one. So what I'm going to do is really make from these two guys one. Looks like I need to cut this here around here, and then this one around here, and then join this part at the end, so that this part will fit in the motor, something like this. this goes here. Okay, so and then I need to cut this about here. I measure about here and then move this part to this place, so it will attach into these wheels. Also, to be able to use this, I have to remove the key. The key has security bolts, but these bolts are really a joke. You just have to hammer them with a sharp screwdrivers 3-4 times, and then it's very easy to remove. They just need a little bit of edge where to unscrew them, and they're extremely easy to remove. Took me less than 5 minutes to remove this. These safety bolts are a joke. Anyway, it's working good for me because I'll be able to easily move this with my key, the one that I want to use, into here, because I don't even have the key for this one, and I don't think there's an easy way to remove the log. It looks like there's maybe some pins here that I would need to remove to get this replaced, but since I don't really have to, I'll just reuse my main one with my key into this shaft. Okay, and also I bought one of these steering joint in online. You can buy any steering joint with whatever side you want on one side and whatever side you want on the other side. And I bought one. This is supposed to be 5/8 spline, but unfortunately it didn't fit in here, so I had to send it back. And instead of trying to find a bigger size, what I'm going to do is get this one fixed. What I need is one joint that has spline 5/8 in one side, and this they call it WD, which is what Nissan has. And so I need spline, I need WD in the other side, which is 1 3/4. So what I'm going to do is try to get this out and move it into here. This on one side, this in the other side. They just have something that looks like a hammer dent, which is keeping the cylinder in. So it should be easy, relatively easy to remove these edges and get this out and get this part on one side and this part on the other side. So this is also going to hopefully be possible to fix, and so to be able to use it. And that's what I'm doing right now. There's going to be a lot of welding tomorrow, especially for the shafts. Need to weld this into that. I'll show it when I'm done with the welding. We're making progress in the joints. As you can see, on the joints there are a couple of marks here that I was able to remove with a screwdriver and a hammer, and then these things just push up and then they leave the connection ready. So basically what I was trying to do is make a steering joint with splines in one side, 5/8 and double D on the other, but they were attached to something else. So what I need to do is join these two together. So I was able to remove the star in between, the seals, and as you can see these are small ball bearings, so I'll be able to use this and make this part one. So it's not that difficult once you remove the little dents that they make to keep this in place. You just push this up and this down, and then this come out. It's a little bit of work, but it's not that bad. I'll be able to probably weld it back in place, put a couple touches of soldering to keep it in place. But basically this is the idea, to put this all together in a joint. Making progress. Okay, the part is ready. So I have spline on one side, double D on the other side, and I was able to properly replace back the ball bearings. Now I just have to weld a couple points of welding to lock this in place, but it works really great. Okay, I welded the piece of pipe with the spline that goes here into my old shaft, which is this. And what I did is I put this all the way up so it will be aligned. And when I check like this, it doesn't seem to wobble, which makes me think originally that I did a good job aligning these two pieces together. Unfortunately, when I put it in here and I put the ball bearing, I mean the nut, and this sits in the ball bearing. And when I check what I did, it wobbles. So obviously I didn't do a good job. I don't know if you can see it, but it wobbles. That needs to be perfect, so I need to go back to the drawing board. Anyway, the place with the splines is about here to here, which means I have plenty of space. I may even need to cut this, but I don't think so. So the place with the keys is here, so it's going to be perfect. What I need to do is, this is from the old steering wheel shaft, so this will go here, this will go here, if I can find it. There you go. And what I need to do is really weld this piece into this pipe, but I don't know the angle yet, so I need to find out the angle that this fits into the car, and then I'll be able to weld this. Now obviously I need to fix this wobbling thing, or this is not going to be a very good job. But once this is together, it's going to look more or less like this, and I just need to weld this so I can tie it to the motor. Right now I can tell that it's hard in some places and it wobbles here too, so that's not a good job. I need to go back to the drawing board, cut the pipes again and weld them again. But that's how it is looking like. Also, I did some welding points here, as I said in the last video, so this will be in place, this will not come out loose. So just a couple touches in case I ever need to remove this, but this is working really great, so it's going to work somehow like this. And there's no game on this. This is actually a very good work. This is excellent. No game at all. This is really tight. All right. Okay, I painted this piece just to avoid rusting from humidity, so it looks actually better now. And I'm done with the second trial of the shaft. As you can see now, it doesn't wobble. I did a much better job because this time I aligned them with the same shaft, and I also painted it so it looks just to avoid the rust, but that's how it looks like now. It's a little rough, the welding, but it'll do the job, and it works good. Well, this is how the whole thing is set up now. This is the joint that I use, so it seems to be working fine too. This is the original shaft that came with the car. I didn't really need to remove this because once you turn the key, it will let the internal shaft loose, and you can connect to this. The only thing I really need to do is weld this, but I'm not going to do that until I know what angle the motor needs to be on in the car. There are some cables here, so I need to make sure that it doesn't hit anything. Also, this part needs to be parallel with this part in the car, because in the car it's using this as a support, but it's also using it as a hinge to make the wheel tilt, and it will work to make the positions of the steering wheel. So I don't want to remove this functionality. Just need to attach it from this piece, from this part. And also it seems to be working fine. It looks actually very good. And also the wheel still locks. So once I turn the key off, it's still locking in place, so the safety is still there, which is good. Now I just need to really put it in the car, put the something to attach it from here, and weld this section once I know the angle, and it should be ready to start the electrical connections. That's the way it fits in the car. This is space for the pedals. I'm still thinking about removing this and putting it somewhere else, because this is removable and doesn't need to be here. The motor needs to be here, so I think there's enough space. The joint is fitting perfectly here, so no issues there. And I just need to attach the motor to this support. There's some strong metal here in both sides, so I think it's gonna be okay. This is probably going to go a little higher still, like this, but it looks like this is the good place. And the angle needs a little more, probably like this, so it frees the cables, and it looks okay. It looks like it's gonna be really good in that position. As I say, there's a space for the pedals, nothing seems to be obstructing, so far so good. Okay, this is how the shaft looks like. It's in the motor now. It's in the power steering motor, and I just welded this, so this is ready as well. I measured in the car, and I knew where to put it on, and then just put a little bit of paint, and then the supports are ready in the car as well. The supports are going to be these two. I checked and the motor fits perfect now. I have some new supports. They should be enough to keep the power steering working fine. I had to move the brake sensors. Unfortunately, they were here and they were in the middle of the motor. The motor was hitting them, so I had to remove them and install them on the side, which is fine now. And I believe I have everything ready to put the motor in place now. That should be my next task. Okay, we're going to make a test. So I plugged the negative, and I put a couple of cables on the positive just to make a quick test. I have the system all wired up. This is how it looks like with the supports here. One support, the other support. Everything is ready. This is connected to the power steering there. Everything is connected, and I just put the negative there to make a quick test, and I have the positive here. So basically, when I connect this, the system should start. I should hear a click. Let me see if I can connect it before. I don't know if it's recording it, but I just connected it. Okay, let's see. Okay, I just connected it here. We just for a quick test, and let's see. So, oh, really soft. Very nice. Really soft direction. Quiet and really soft. Let me see. There you go. Very nice. Super soft, actually. And then this potentiometer will give me variable variable assistance depending on how much I turn this on. So it's working, it's ready for the final wiring. So I'm going to start wiring the final the final setup. Well, this is where I'm going to connect the power steering. This is the original cable that came to the starter, to the cranking motor. It's a very thick cable, and here's where the hydraulic power steering was connected to these two wires. I just need positive here, and I can reuse these fuses also for the system. These are two 30 amps fuses in parallel, so that will be 60 amps. That should be enough for the new power steering. And I think this is a good place to connect it. And then I'm going to remove the hydraulic power steering, which is down there. It's hard to see, but there's an hydraulic system which is working with this. Actually, moving the electric new power steering pushed the oil up, so it started leaking all over the place. So I'm gonna have to find a way to drain this, because it's pushing the liquid out. The other thing I'm working on is wiring here under the dashboard. There is a potentiometer on the right. I'm gonna try to focus it. This one at the bottom is called VR1, and that's the one that now has to be adjusted to calibrate the assistance needed to the left and to the right, so it's the same. Just remove the cover, and then these are exposed. So it's the potentiometer marked as VR1. That's the one I need to adjust. Other than that, it's just putting the wires where they go in, and I have the potentiometer ready. It's going to be here where the switch for the hydraulic power steering was. That's where it's going to live. So I finished installing all the indicators, the blinker, the wipers, the lights, and the wheel, the horn, and I finished the wiring, and it's working great. I finished adjusting the potentiometer to make it even on the left and the right size assistance, and I pretty much have everything wired and cleaned up, and it's working great. I just need to put back the covers, and I need to put back the airbag, and everything is good. I'm gonna do a test drive now. Well, this is the test drive. As soon as I turn on the switch, I can hear a click, and then there's assistance. It's quite soft, and the potentiometer seems to be working fine. Tan pronto como yo pongo la llave y le llega corriente al sistema, se activa la dirección hidráulica asistida. Está bastante suavecita, funciona muy bien. Tengo el potenciómetro que cambia el nivel de asistencia requerido, y bueno, vamos a manejar un poquito. Estoy aquí dejando una estación de carga en la que estaba cargando un poquito. I'm just leaving a charging station where I was getting some charge. And as you can see, it drives really nice. Se maneja bastante bien. Voy a dar una vuelta. Es completamente silenciosa. It's completely quiet. It's I mean, it's really great. It feels like a OEM car. It's an OEM part, actually. Se maneja como como un carro OEM, como un carro de agencia con dirección hidráulica asistida. Once I set up the adjustment need level that I needed, I don't think I really need to touch that adjustment again. Seems to be working if I just leave it in there. Una vez que decidí qué nivel de asistencia requiero, lo voy a dejar ahí, y es ahí es donde no creo que haga falta moverlo ya más. There's a project that I may do in the future, which is with an Arduino computer, change dynamically the level of assistance that is needed. like the faster I go, the less assistance I need, and the slower I go, the more assistance I can have. So that's something I may consider for the future, but I don't really seem to need it right now. It would be a nice to have. En el futuro podría hacer un cambio a esto, que sería usar un tablero, una computadora Arduino para cambiar dinámicamente el nivel de asistencia que requiero. Mientras más rápido voy, menos asistencia requiere, y cuando voy más despacio puedo aumentar el nivel de asistencia de forma dinámica con respecto a la velocidad del carro. Es otra cosa que puedo evaluar en el futuro. So I'm gonna park, and it's really easy to park. I mean, you can do it with one finger. It's that soft, and it's not in the maximum level of assistance. Puedo estacionarme ahora con un dedo, mover el volante, y ni siquiera está en la nivel más potente de asistencia. Es realmente excelente el cambio que le hice al carro, y es silencioso. Bueno, that's it. Eso es. I'll just show when it's finally has all the covers back in, and it's basically completely finished, the horn and the airbag and the covers. Finalmente voy a mostrar nada más cuando esté la bolsa de aire reemplazada, aquí puesta de nuevo y con las cubiertas, y eso es todo. El sistema está funcionando y está listo. Okay, the system is complete. As I mentioned, I reinstalled the airbag. Remember, this has to be stored face down. In case it activates, the airbag just inflates over. If this is face down and this is on the ground, when the airbag is activated, this will be catapulted. So it's a safety feature. Always keep this face up when it's stored. The airbag light has been reset also. I won't cover that here because it's different for every car, but there's a way to reset the airbag light, since it was blinking when this was missing. Now it's fine. All the covers are back in place. That's how it looks like. I have an extra motor, by the way. If anybody's interested, I'm going to sell it for $90, I think, plus shipping. I'm going to remove also the whole system, the hydraulic electric system, which is an MR2, and it's going to be put for sale as well. I figure I'm going to leave the hoses connected for the oil. I figure also some lubrication in the pinion could not hurt. Okay, so what was the cost of the system? The system was about $250. I paid $70 for the controller, plus about $10 for shipping. I paid $125 for the motor, and I paid about $50 in the parts that I needed. I bought extra parts, but strictly buying what is needed is about $50 in parts in a junkyard. So that's done. Just gonna mention the alignment I did on video number 25. I have about 20,000 miles in these tires. As you can see, they're still looking in very good shape. It's video 25, and I did something on how to align the car yourself. This is the other tire. They're in pretty good shape actually, and the car drives really great. The alignment is a success. Okay, next project is gonna be the voltmeter in each one of the batteries.